Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Carm Capriato Aftermarket Weekly. Every Tuesday we do this at noon. And man, we have so much fun talking business, talking what's going on. And we also have an opportunity and a chance to see a virtual tour. And this week is really special. I think you saw that shot. We've got Keith Perkins on with us. This is going to be so much fun. Keith, are you there somewhere? Let me see. There he is. Hey, man.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. Keith Perkins. Man, I'll tell you, gotten to know this guy a lot lately. 15 years in the industry, which makes him very young, very young. You see, there isn't a gray stitch in his beard anywhere. L1 Automotive Diagnostics and Programming, a mobile programming diagnostic immobilizer solution company. And he also operates L1 Automotive Training, and he offers great advice it's an automotive training site, l1training.com. And excuse me, and make sure I got this right. Keith holds the title of ASE Master Certified L1 Technician, holding ASE certifications A1 through L9, L1, L2, L3, X1, P2, and various other industry certs. He's also a subject matter expert for ASE. Did I get all that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
Good to have you here. Again, as I was saying, we're going to get an actual tour of one of his mobile vans. That is something we've never done. Thank you for leading the way with that. Keith was so kind to come on and do 3 episodes with us on scan tools, and episode 629, 669, and 678. He was on with Matt and Bill, and they had so much fun. And here I'm just sitting in the background, just watching all this cool stuff go on as I was trying to moderate a panel between these 3 guys, and it was a blast. And so thank you so much for doing those. Those are so worth shop owners and technicians and even service advisors to listen, because I'm not sure our service advisors know of the length that we need to go through to be so good at our jobs as diagnosticians, do they, Keith?
No, that was a ton of fun. That was it's really good anytime I get to sit down and talk to Matt and Bill both. I haven't had a lot of time to talk with Bill one-on-one, but man, that guy, just I love Bill. I don't know what it is about him. I'm sure a lot of people get the same kind of feeling. I feel like he's been a friend for a long time.
Yeah, I know. He's, you're right. He's the brother from a different mother, and Bill's the kind of guy who I call him our philosopher. I mean, there isn't anything that he can't bring into the real world, no matter what it is that your challenges or opportunities are. He can always put a bow on it. Hey, if you're with us on social media, it would be great to have you on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever we are. Our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check in with your city. Give us a like, a comment, and or a share. Hey, we are coming to you live from the Dorman OE Fix Studio. Good to have you here. And let me see. Can I show you my cool little camera shot, Keith, of me? It's my wide shot. Okay, thank you. Let's take that off now. That's my wide shot. We wanted to start doing some behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. What's that pretty face and all this stuff around me here? Actually, all this NORAD thing. So it's my first wide shot.
People could really see what goes on back there to make something audio and video work across the internet. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and I'm sure you have just as much in front of you. Hey, how's business?
We were unprecedentedly busy. We since we have we actually have a brick and mortar building now, and it's a separate entity as well. So I just keep adding names of businesses under the hat, and I am separating myself more and more. Though I'm trying not to do too much. That's the big part. As a young business owner, I tend to get a little too far into it. Maybe don't take as many pieces of the pie and divvy them up like I should. But we've been doing awesome here. Trying to stick to our no advertising for our brick and mortar. We're trying to go all word of mouth. This is it's interesting for us. I talked with a lot of different people. I want to real quick just give a shout out to Bill Haas. I spent a lot of time talking to him, giving him some ideas of what I wanted to do with this building, and kind of bring the brick and mortar to where I think it should be. And we made some some plans to go forward, and we're not going to spend any on advertising. We're all word of mouth, and we're kind of hitting some of those numbers you guys had talked about, and some other. I don't want to go too far into it, but we'll just say that our labor rates are really, really high, and we're going to try to be a specialty shop and see how far we can go with that. So
Good
this
for
new
you.
brick and mortar is very, very unique in what we're doing here, separate from the mobile business and separate from the training company. So it's a lot of fun.
How many trucks on the road?
So we've got 3 full-time trucks on the road currently. We will be adding a 4th, I think, in 2022.
Okay. Now the brick and mortar that apparently sits behind you.
Yes. Yeah.
That brick and mortar is all about what? ADAS, or is it about the local 5-mile radius customers coming? I mean, you're not doing heavy work, right?
No transmissions, no engines, no real internal repair. We started needing a building for ADAS, right? Because as a mobile company, you run into some challenges in some of these collision centers and shops that just don't have the physical real estate to do ADAS calibrations correctly. We need level floors, we need good lighting, we need lots of space. So we have to have a building, and that started with a small building in the town that I lived in. And then we said, all right, well, let's move to a larger building, more centralized in our area. We're getting a lot of vehicles coming in and out. And as soon as a lot of our, because we work directly with repair shops and collision centers exclusively on the diagnostic side, on the mobile side, they just started sending customers the moment that we opened the doors and we had a bay. So we actually had to put a lift in. So we do have a lift bay in and a bunch of tools. We stuck with our business plan from the diagnostic side. We supply every single tool to our technicians. So technicians don't buy any tools at all, ever, working for us. And that was a big part of the total package thing, trying to do some changes in the industry we really wanted to see, following some people like Seth Thorson that have done things like that I really admire what he did with the industry. Really do.
Where are you getting the training for your techs? I mean, are you doing it all for them? Are you having get-togethers? Are you sending them out? You're doing some virtual stuff?
Yes, we're doing all of that. So I love, producing training content, but the reality is that as one individual, I can't create enough content to adequately train all my guys on everything. Right. I've got a strong point that I do a lot of programming, immobilizer, diag, but we see air conditioning systems. We see all kinds of different issues, and we work on all kinds of different vehicles. So we go to Vision every year as a team, pack up and go whenever it's, in person. I went to ASTE this year. I didn't get to take a tech with me. We were just super, super busy, which is not a good excuse, but we go to all the ATG training. I don't mind at all talking about the other training companies that make awesome content. CTI, my guys do all the CTI classes.
Okay.
We're a TechNet shop, so they get the ability to take all that virtual training and in-person training. So if it's available, I try to let them take it. If they want to take it, if they come to me and say, I want to take this training, I'm doing it for them.
Are you keeping a resume on the courses that they're taking?
Yeah, we've got a almost unofficial log of all the things that we do. We like to kind of keep in contact of which technicians are keeping up with what training. If we don't hold them accountable, it's hard, in the day-to-day, you kind of let things get away from you, just like I do myself. If I don't time out every 5 minutes of my day, I lose track and don't get anything done.
Got it. So, hey, let me stop for 1 minute because I want to come back to you and ask you an important question. I want to talk about some of the most recent episodes that we've got and we've released. Let me see. My first slide here is Jimmy Lee, ASTE recording, Jimmy Lee's top 7 proven marketing methods. We also had a great interview with Bridget Johnson. I interviewed Bridget a couple of years ago. She just started an apprentice program, and she's done with it now. And just to hear what Bridget said and talked about as she kind of graduated with no debt, and of course, hiring dealership technicians, an incredible episode. You really got to listen to that. That was way off the charts. Every time something comes off better than I ever expected, I just end up loving these. They become my favorite episodes. And coming up this Friday, the Town Hall Academy coaching CEOs to their next level. Dan Garlock, Scott Brown, Mike Bennett join me. And that was really an eye-opener too. So Keith, let me go back to you. The challenges that are with you right now in having 3 mobile vans and all the stuff at the shop. What happens if somebody does a software update? Or there needs to be an update to any of your laptops or your devices.
Yeah, we've, when you start getting that many vehicles on the road and they've all got laptops, that each one of them have got tons of manufacturer software, that's been a big challenge, is just keeping up with making the laptops stay running. We had an issue just the other day where one kind of crashed, and we have backups, but it takes hours for each one of these to bring them back. And matter of fact, one of the techs ran in to grab another tool now. And it's something that takes more hours than what it's worth. So right now we're looking at, what do we do to prevent this problem in the future? Is this another position? Do we have someone that's a technology specialist here at the shop that deals with that? Because the onus is kind of falling on everyone as a team to do it, and we're losing some accountability. So it takes a lot of time, a lot out of our days to do this. And it's hard to get that time back.
I can't imagine. Again, there are guys out there that have 10, 20 trucks on the road to just, if you're at a shop, you don't use a piece of equipment for a while, you unpack it, 45 days in and realize you can't move forward until you do an update.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the brick and mortar shops that do programming on a semi-regular basis for a brick and mortar, maybe once every month for each manufacturer, 2-3 times a month for each manufacturer, they're finding that same problem. Every time they break the laptop out, it's got an hour of updates you've got to do. And then you're behind. It just, you have to factor that into what it costs to do these jobs. And it can be extremely time consuming and overwhelming sometimes.
Well, I get it. And, so congrats on being such a young guy in the industry with training company, Mobile Diag, and brick and mortar. I mean, you really got it all going. What a great, business model that you have. Hey, before we go into actually seeing a tour of your place, I want to talk about a neat new product from Dorman.
Dorman consistently is looking for improved solutions to help save time and money for those who are performing the repairs. Dorman's all-in-one loaded backing plate solution does just that. With 0 assembly required, you can now stop disassembling multiple pieces to make backing plate and e-brake repairs. Dorman's loaded backing plates deliver a complete solution. This assembly replaced all the failure-prone components by combining parking brake shoes and hardware onto the backing plate. The pre-mounted parking brake shoes, springs, and clips for a bolt and go solution. Want to know more about Dorman? Well, visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Hey, would you like to learn more about Dorman's innovations? Visit dormanproducts.com/tour.
Hey, thank you so much, Dorman. I guess we're going to jump right in here to see this really cool tour, as it's the first time I'm seeing it, Keith, and can't wait for you to narrate it for us.
Yeah, so hopefully I went slow enough, but we've actually got 2 entry doors for the training side. You can see over there to the far right. We kind of separate them a little bit. Had our next door neighbors do vehicle wraps, so they threw that up for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they do awesome work. Coming in the front office here, we love displaying what our guys have accomplished, myself included. I love showing off the effort that I put into it.
Let's stop that for a minute. One of the things that I saw were all the badges from the conferences you attended. I mean, that really does show a customer that you're investing in training like that. There they are.
Yeah. So customers like asking what all these are from, and you talk about trade shows and going into the kind of how the industry works and how we all get together annually, biannually, whatever we do, and they find it pretty interesting. I think it's really neat to show some of the camaraderie that happens, and not just us in a shop by ourselves.
Wow.
We go as a team and do things.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You've got a branded Keurig. I love it.
Yeah. Filling the walls up right now with as much of the stuff we've got. What's funny is you'd think a chip shortage is a big deal, but for us, it's been a shortage of frames. Our local Hobby Lobby's sold out. Yeah, we didn't clean it much, but that's Liz's desk there, where all the magic actually happens.
Okay.
Of course, I got some cool old automotive swag. Had to have a couple of the Y-end intake and Holly signs.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah, so this is our big van. This one houses a lot of the ADAS equipment. It was the van that I started in when I got serious and got bought my first brand new vehicle ever. It's a work van, of course. So it's got a inexpensive toolbox because we drilled holes in it. Didn't want to do that to a name brand one. It's got a little work desk in there. Quite a bit of, I think there's a Reese's wrapper up there. I'm gonna have to talk to Zach about that.
Hey, stop the video for a minute. Internet, you're getting internet based on what? Some kind of 5G hotspot thing?
Yeah, so we used Nighthawks, AT&T Netgear Nighthawks inside each of the vans. We have a hard mounted one with antenna. I actually don't think I took a picture of it, but they're mounted up on the roof.
And is everything else so is it Wi-Fi or wired?
A lot of the stuff in the van is wired, but then it creates a hotspot at the van. And then they also have a little personalized hotspot if they got to go into a building somewhere.
Okay, cool.
We got a printer up there and a dock with one of the laptops that they use. Of course, we got our stickers everywhere. Tons of just some hand tools because they've got to pull some panels, and a couple laptops and ton of scan tools. If it's a scan tool, we've probably got it on one of the trucks. You could see there we've got a factory Nissan tool and a couple factory Ford tools and Chrysler and GM, all kinds of stuff. Some ADOS targets there. There's a key machine there on the floor. That's the big one everyone always asks about. So a ton of stuff can fit in these vans. We've got some stuff for refrigerants, for diagnosis. I mean, there's hundreds of things in these vans. The inventory list alone would make you just, it's an all-day event. We actually pick one day every couple months and go through an inventory of the vans.
Now you're inventorying equipment, right?
That fan is inventoried. That the first aid kit's inventoried. The hand towels. We make sure that they've got it all.
Smart. I love
yes.
that. Oh, look at this. Look at the headquarter here.
Yeah. So this is one of the smaller vans. It's got this one houses some key machine stuff. So all the vans have a basic setup of the same things. They've all got a domestic and Asian loadout of OE equipment for Ford, GM, Chrysler, Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, and then some aftermarket tooling to cover some of the other bases. See, there's our other Nissan tool. It was one of the more expensive investments. And then some aftermarket like J boxes and key programming tools. So this van and the other big van does keys. All of them do programming. All of them do diagnosis.
So if you had a bunch of AES wave leads and stuff, would they be in a package somewhere? Where
they're
would they
all
be?
over the place. So there's one right behind the printer to our right there. There's a lot of the cables in there are all from AES wave. They actually make a great set of custom cables for us.
Yeah. Okay.
I can usually just call George, tell him, hey, I need another set.
Okay.
And then Carlos ships them right to me. And then our oldest van, actually, this is a old 2013 Ford. It's a little messy. We have two guys named Zach, and both of them, they've got their own uniqueness on how they keep their vans. But that van's got a lot of our Euro equipment in it, both aftermarket and original equipment stuff or OEM stuff.
So tell me about lockdown. You're out there driving, you're on a bumpy road. Are any of those scan tools bungeed in somewhere, or they won't come out?
They fit pretty well. There's some like matting in the bottom, kind of like what that mat right there rolled up is.
Okay.
It's in the bottom of them to keep them padded. There are some things we've changed over time as we've found some equipment doesn't last as well as others. We have to relocate where it sets.
I think I noticed in the first van that you didn't have a cage between the van and the passenger. Was that by design?
Just kind of ended up that way.
Okay.
So I will harp on this area a little bit. This is actually our remote programming area and bench flashing. So we do remote programming of modules. There's a couple different companies between Launch, Autel, iScan, and even not quite directly through any one company, but we use some software we've kind of put in conjunction to port forward and USB forward some stuff over the internet so we can assist other technicians in programming with either equipment they've got or equipment we can get to them pretty quick. Kind of solve some of the solutions, solve some of the problems for programming out there. And then that's where I'm sitting right now.
That's your nerve center. Okay.
Yep, that's where it's at. Looks like I was working on a CTI class that day.
Now, Keith, when you're doing and recording your training, you're doing it at that three station with the microphone setup, right?
That, and then I also have one at the house as well.
Okay.
It's a very similar setup. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It got expensive, but yeah, I didn't want to have to move sound equipment every day. And
looks like you're soldering stuff here.
Yeah. So we do module repair as well. So internal board level repair. We keep a lot of that equipment there on that one station. That station rolls around so it can go to a vehicle as well. In that particular instance, what we're doing right there is looks like we're doing a emulator for a skim module and a crossfire. So the parts are no longer available, so we have to create some kind of immobilizer solution for that.
Man, see, this is stuff that I think so many shop owners today think about. Well, maybe I should put a mobile van on.
Yeah, that's it gets overwhelming.
A tough call. It's a tough call. And here you're a mobile guy who's saying, I'm going to do brick and mortar. That to me, that's so interesting to want to do that. What is this board, by the way? Oh, I see your keys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just some stock of the keys. Each of the van keeps a pretty basic loadout, and then that's what we stock other than what's out there. I will say I was not the first person to go from mobile to brick and mortar, but we also, this is a shelf of modules. We stock about 150 modules altogether. There's some there that are already inventoried. Anytime we diagnose a system as having a failed module, if we have it on hand, we can provide that solution there as well. Getting parts is a little harder.
If you're heading out to a particular diag, would you take a module with you in case, because you may think it needs it, or do you have to come back for it?
It kind of depends upon the situation. So how much information the shop can give us really dictates what we're going to take with us in addition to whatever we keep on the van diag wise. It's not often we carry parts and equipment, but if if it's a known issue, something we suspect is a module from the get-go, we will, if we know that we have one in stock, we'll take it with us.
You'll take it with you. Have you ever Ubered a part over to a guy?
No, but we have grabbed other technicians or somebody from the shop and said, hey, can you bring one out to me? They got 3 cars here and we've got a part to fix one of them.
Cool.
Yeah. So we do have the one repair bay here. In this repair bay, we have a 3D printer there. We actually, anytime we have to manufacture a part or we come up with something that just needs to be made or a better quality fix than what's available, we'll render out one and print it off. And sometimes tools and other kind of equipment will do that.
Now, I have seen these 3D printers, especially when I toured Dorman. They've got an incredible place where they help build many of their prototypes. What kind of 3D printing material are you using? Is it, I think it's plastic. Is it carbon fiber? I mean, how does that work?
You can get a couple different types. We use predominantly for just engineering to come up with the design. We use PLA. It's really inexpensive. It's polylactic acid based. It's like it's a really easy to work with type of plastic, but it doesn't take heat very well. So if you're just going to manufacture something to test fit, works really great. For long-term use, we'll use like Kevlar infused ABS plastic or just a full-on ABS with lots of fiber reinforcing in it.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Now, will you buy a design off the internet or will you CAD CAM something on your own?
We'll usually just CAD it out in either Tinkercad or AutoCAD. Just depends upon how intricate it has to be.
Very interesting. And what's this bench?
It's just a station for them to look up service info, and usually I tell them they can go over there and do some training, but they end up probably just playing on the internet and reading magazines. If we leave them
nice and bright, very clean, very organized. Great place to work.
Yeah, lighting's great, and then of course it's air conditioned in the shop area and in the office. Because it's Oklahoma, it gets hot here. Yeah, just some more storage there's some aftermarket and original equipment, ADOS targeting and stuff there. We kind of do a little bit of testing with both, like to compare. These are modules that are usually used for parts. They're either already been scavenged for parts or, I mean, if there's a chip shortage on something and we can get a hold of the modules, we'll get that.
And you're doing ADAS, it looks like, here in this bay.
Yeah, we're trying to play and see some differences in the OEM targets versus the aftermarket. You can see we're using the Autel there and the factory Honda target. And then we're going to do the same thing with the Subaru there that's in the bay. And then kind of just to get a scope of size. It's not really large. I mean, 3,500 square feet, but it's enough for what we need to do. And
the vans come in every night?
The vans go home with the technicians, actually. So that's what was kind of difficult to schedule all together, get all the vans in one spot.
Well, thank you for doing that. I mean, I would have been satisfied with just seeing one van's tour, but you gave us the Cadillac version of a shop tour.
Well, they've all got their own purpose. So it's, each van's different. Each technician likes to keep things a little bit different ways. They've all got their own personality.
My first mobile diag vehicle tour, and it happened from Keith Perkins. Wow. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. Hey, look, we're on YouTube, yeah, Carm has a YouTube channel. Of course, we are on Apple and Spotify and Google and everything else. This episode will be produced as a podcast. It releases every Saturday, and it's on my YouTube channel. So thank you all for hanging out with us. Next week, we're going to have a cool tour from Leanne Best and Bill Hill from Mighty Auto Pro in Medina, Ohio. Of course, I think you probably know Leanne Best is one of the founders of Brakes for Breasts. And of course, you can see her in her great pink shirt, and hope to have an update on how October went, and some really cool things about the Brakes for Breasts personal trials that are going on. And that was just phenomenal. I thank you for being here, Keith, and I will see you at Apex, because as this thing is being broadcast, it's being broadcast on the first day of Apex, and so we're probably hanging out right now.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate you
having me.
being here. Oh, it was great. Thank you for all your wisdom, man.
All right.